r/AskReddit, you get pushed into 2030 for 10 minutes and you get one Google search what you looking for? Reddit, you go back in time to 2023. What would you do? 2024 March Madness Bracket. Warren Buffett has a standing $1 billion offer to whoever gets a perfect bracket. Lottery numbers 2023. Big oily tits. Biggest lottery winners 2023 and the numbers for the drawing just before them. Am I pregnant? Looking up obituaries for terrible public figures. CEOs, politicians, hate group leaders, etc. Then upon return anonymously creating a widely announced death note scenario where one of the tracked individuals has their death announced a day in advance for their heinous behavior. At first it's a hoax, a joke, or several lucky guesses, but after enough accurate predictions the doubt begins to creep in. The influential sleazes of the world begin to clean up their acts due to a quasi-mystical, unavoidable, and all-knowing threat of imminent doom. The history of the 2020s. The winners of the next 7 Super Bowls. And Baseball World Series. Gonna go Biff Tannen. Has George R.R. Martin finished the series? How do I use the shells? 10 minutes for one Google search. I will search why the internet is so slow. GTA 6 release date. Geometry Dash 2. 2 release date. 10 minutes is a long time. I may only get one Google search, but I'll DuckDuckGo the shit out the rest of that time. I'd look up winning horse races / gambling winning numbers throughout the years 2023 to 2030. Back to the Future style smiling face with sunglasses. Chords for Wonderwall. Probably look for my obituary. If I die of cancer then I will know to keep a lookout, get an early start on that shit. Catching it early is half the battle. Best performing stocks 2024. What happened to Tyler the Creator? Sports Almanac 2020 to 2030. Did the Lions win a Super Bowl in the last 10 years? Loudly crying face. What is the price of Bitcoin? Russian-Ukrainian war consequences. Nasty sluts. Best investment the last decade. Find out the best rated movie, write down the plot and claim copyright when it comes out. Big tits near me plus Granny plus Fortnite plus Burger King. I'd probably search to see if crab disease has a cure yet. My son was diagnosed in April, and the least month and a half has been a whirlwind of getting him a stem cell transplant to prolong his life, since without it, the doctors projected he would pass away by the end of the year. It would be nice to see if in 7 years a cure has been found. I don't really care about much else at this point, pensive face. Try and figure out what public companies grew the most in the last 5 years. And invest in those when I get back, smiley face. Lottery numbers July 2023. Is Mitch McConnell still alive? Average penis size 2030. No comment. Almanac. How to make a perfect sunny side up egg for breakfast. What are the odds that Google searches are still a thing? You might feel like a person scrambling to find a payphone. Past 10 years top 20 greatest scientific discoveries explained. Then I'd post that shit for free on Reddit because there is already too much greed in the world. Somebody shall put humans first for once and. I just googled the future, so how can I be another egoistical douche? Doesn't sound right to me. Anything to make me rich like ASAP, cause money is tight. Right now. Where was the subtitan found? Once it's recovered or discovered, it probably look up what best investment to make in 2023. Events that took place from 2023 to 2030. Would be what I search. As it is a very broad search, I'll be able to find out many things. My obituary. Google en passant. I'd check if Ozzy Osbourne or Keith Richards are still alive, and if not, who went first. Google myself. My LinkedIn page should be in the top results. Would be interesting to see what job I will be working so I can mentally prepare for them. Also visit my Facebook page then. Would be interesting to know if my death shows up so I could hopefully prevent it. Whatever happened to Google? Who won the elections? How to pledge loyalty to R.A.I. Masters. All winning lottery numbers between now and then. I'm with some people. Lottery numbers for 2023. Why? Because I hate my job and want to retire early to get away from humanity. If r/interesting as fuck is still a NSFW subreddit. Did the Epstein list come out yet? Squirt fingering new scenes. My obituary. Best preferring penny stocks 2024. Only type of stock you can buy large enough quantities of to become insanely rich. Best performer 2022 increased its value by 1,304%. That's a 13 times your money in under a year. Edit, 2 quick maths. Bitcoin price. Top performing stocks since 2023. Insert celebrity, biggest secret revealed. Time to start blackmailing smiling face with horns. Was life in space found? Open Google, type Gaku Ultimate Super Saiyan 100. Did Ukraine win? Price chart 10-year BTC. TES 6. In 2030 Google is largely defunct, as is the internet. Text-based coding, markup languages, and chip-based computing are things of the past, pretty much only found in children's toys and cheap consumer electronics. The internet and most of what we describe as computing is replaced by Synapse TM, which is essentially an AI neural network that processes information in a way comparable to the human brain, mostly using thalamus, a thin crystalline mesh nanomaterial invented in 2025, which was rapidly incorporated into nearly all construction, water, sewage, electrical infrastructure, textiles, paving, in addition to massive meshes of thalamus serving as synapse antennae in most major cities and orbiting the Earth. In addition to thalamus meshes, synapse can utilize molecules in everyday materials for processing. In fact, wood is one of its best conductors, and a primitive village of wooden shacks surrounded by a forest has nearly the same computing power as a major metropolitan area infused with thalamus. Most importantly, the synapse network utilizes the computing power of ordinary citizens' brains. Most adults in first world countries get their synapse implants installed between the ages of 18 to 21. The procedure is, so far, harmless, and costs nothing. The brain is such an incredibly effective neural network that even sharing 1% of an adult brain's computing power is the equivalent of 16 linear miles of thalamus mesh. The implant is a simple transmitter/receiver which interacts with brain synapses in almost exactly the way it interacts with thalamus meshes. After all, the synapse net was modeled after human thought. So the implant costs only a few dollars to manufacture and saves literal fortunes in increasing synapses' computing power. Essentially, Synapse turned the entire Earth, and its population, into a single shared computer several billion times faster and more powerful than the combined power of every computer and device in existence today. Laws were passed restricting Synapse to utilize brain functions only during sleep. People with implants report having more dreams, and stranger ones, than without the implants, but other than that, no side effects. In fact, the implant's stimulation of REM sleep improves restfulness, and studies show that it has benefits to patients with schizoaffective disorders and other forms of psychosis. By 2039, Advertisers develop methods to influence cravings and impulses, and various government/military operations attempt to use these techniques for mind control, but it turns out you can make someone feel 2% more inclined to buy a Twix bar today, but you can't make them 2% more inclined to vote against their values or kill enemies of the state. Except, to an extent, for social conservatives and those still registered for the US Republican political party, which deteriorated into a tiny extremist fringe party after the 2025 Jordan Green Treasongate conspiracy. Incidentally, in the comeback of the millennium, Synapse technology was developed by a small team working at Casio. They were trying to develop a new AI-controlled smartwatch when an investor asked, couldn't this technology be scaled larger to make a super powerful gaming console? Which led to the developers realizing it could in fact be scaled infinitely with very little additional research and development. In 10 years Casio, renamed Casio Mesh, will be wealthiest and most powerful corporation in human history, surpassing Google by miles. Everyone on the Synapse development team is currently a Redditor in 2023, although most are not yet working for Casio. A few are still in high school. The biggest mindfuck is that the lead developer got the idea for Synapse by reading this post. Much later developments in the understanding of space-time will reveal that this is very common. Our physical brains organize time in a linear manner, but in fact there's a currently undiscovered energy field generated by the brain which interacts with space-time as a whole. Our brain clouds, stupid name, I know, but trust me, it sounds much better in 22nd century Chinese, have access to all of time and space at once. It has something to do with light being neither a particle nor a wave, those are just a couple of its least significant characteristics. Light is actually a form of something resembling thought, or consciousness on the part of the universe. But this shit is way over my head. I'm just reporting the Cliff's Notes version as it was described to me. Anyway, even though Google is basically a cheap consumer electronics company in 2030, there is a lot of hipster nostalgia for the 2010s to 2020s internet, so you can still access archived versions of Google on emulators run on children's toys. But nothing you Google will have any results much more recent than 2025, and the vast majority of results from 2024 to 2025 will be shitty AI-generated blog posts and advertisements. It's literally impossible to discern the truth from chat-ish musings, so if you Google any given topic after 2023 you have at least a 50% chance of getting an answer that is completely fabricated by AI on the spot based on what it thinks you want the answer to be, as determined by analyzing your data patterns. Or rather, the data patterns of whichever 2025 user was imaged for the Google archive used in toy emulators. So, in short, if you're pushed into 2030 for one Google search, your best bet is to forget Google and spend 10 mind-blowing minutes exploring Synapse. If the rule is you have to use Google, then you can never go wrong with boobs. This is a brilliant question. I'd look up for the impact of climate change in these 20s. Was the Titanic sub ever found? Have we reached Mars yet? Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you have enjoyed this video and subscribe to never miss an upload.